Hi, guys. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, here with Star Nations Radio Network and Caribbean Live TV. Here we are in the new year and a new chance to sort of start again. This is a really exciting time to do any of your own healing work. It's exciting to do any of your own clearing, because you get to take the opportunity to, check in and see what you would like to change in this new year. We all make these interesting resolutions, and the New Year's resolutions are great, but we often can't keep them, right? I think statistically by January 16th, we've broken all of them. So this is a time for us to choose differently. And when we're doing healing work on ourselves, we're choosing to change our energy field and change what's going on a daily basis. Or if you just want to check in with me once a week, you can change it on a weekly basis. It doesn't have to feel so daunting like you have to do it for an entire year. You can just do any kind of healing, any kind of clearing whenever you want. And the neat thing about being here for Soul Connections is we do healing, we do meditation, but we also get divine messages. And I pull cards for people, and that is just a really neat way for you to get some validation on what's going on or some information. Many of us get an idea, but we don't always have a clear vision of what that means. So that's kind of why I'm here today and why I'm here every Wednesday. And I just realized that I don't have the box that my cards go in. But this is the Oracle of Love Tarot by Tony Carmen Salerno. And this will only be for today. My team decided, and we'll share this again at the end, that I'm going to pull a card for your energy for the entire year. So you can have a heads up on how your energy is going to be fluctuating throughout the whole year. And I'm excited for that. I do yearly tarot readings, only in January. And I only do them for the first 2 weeks of January. But it's something that it's kind of fun to see the patterns of what energy is going to be up for people, but lots of times there's a hint of how the energy is going to be for the planet. So I'll tell you, between now and summertime, it's very much filled with transitions. So be prepared to be letting things go, be prepared to create change in your life. So either you get to choose to create change or you can have change happen to you. But either way, the energy is there, and it's going for most people at least until summer, and some people to the beginning of fall. So, if you want to see what the energy is for you for the year, you can contact me because it takes about 45 minutes or so to do a yearly tarot reading, and they're really kind of fun. And we can do it by Skype or phone or Messenger if you'd like. So feel free to reach out if you would like to see what your whole year's going to look like. So I'm just going to do my normal spiel, which is, please help us out by sharing and liking in Facebook land. Because if you put this out on your time page, I guess that's the best way to say it, then it can reach many people who maybe need a little healing or they need a little guidance because things are going on in their life, or they would like a little bit of help because that's what we're here for. But this is all about you connecting with your spiritual team, you connecting with the divine, and beginning to remember how to heal yourself. And a lot of us are healers out there, and we don't take the time to actually do our own healing work. We're so busy taking care of everyone else that we wait to take care of ourselves. I just saw a really interesting post about if you take 1 hour a day and put it aside for yourself. And for a lot of people, that seems like way too much. They can't clear that much time. That's only 5%. 5% of your time that you're putting aside for you. That's 95% of the time you're putting aside for other people. So I don't know about you, but that math doesn't work really well for me. So I think at least taking this hour or a little longer for ourselves every Wednesday, that's a step in the right direction. And those of you who want to get a card reading, just you know the drill. You can post with yes, please, and we will read them in the order that they come through. So, if you say yes, please, the first person who says yes, please, gets to get their card read first. And I stay until they're all done. So it's not like we're going anywhere. So don't worry about it. Don't freak out if we haven't got to you yet, because I promise I'll get there. Because that could be a big anxiety producer. So for you guys who are, just arriving here, I want to let you know that today's card draw will be the energy for your entire year. So that's kind of a big deal. So it'll give you some insight into what your year's going to be like. And some of us have a lot of change because the yearly tarot readings that I've been doing have all been at least 6 months of change and transition. So don't be surprised if that shows up for you, because it just means we're all ready to grow and stretch and become more than who we already are. And that's not a bad thing. I'm excited. All right. So I want to take a quick thank you out to Neshi for being my co-pilot. She's waving if you could see her. She helps me stay on track. We found that as this group got larger for readings, it was a little hard for me to go back and forth and see who was asking for what. So Neshi is my co-pilot and lets me know, who's on tap so that I don't miss anybody. Because I really want to make sure to get to everybody. That's really the key here. We want to make sure everybody who wants a message can have one. All right, so why don't we get started? So to do that, we're going to begin by just really trying to get ourselves comfortable. You want to be sitting with your arms and your legs uncrossed. I'm going to start making clearing noises. They sound a little bit like burps or squawks, and that just means that the energy for the group is moving. Thank goodness. We all want that energy to be out the door. So make sure that, you feel comfy. Because there's nothing worse than trying to do a meditation when your back hurts or your arm hurts because you're sitting funny. Yeah. So we're going to begin by calling in the divine, however you perceive that. So whether you connect with Creator or God or Goddess or universe or oneness, consciousness, however you experience divine energy, we want to call that in this moment. Yeah. And we're going to ask the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. And we're creating a sacred space so that we feel comfortable to allow the healing to take place. So if you're still feeling a little anxious, you can also create a bubble around the entire room or the space that you're in. Having 2 bubbles of divine protection. Yeah. And make sure that the bubble goes below your feet, below the earth as well. Some people think only of sitting on top, but it actually goes underneath. We're going to call in your spiritual team, your angels, your guides, your ancestors. your animals, your mystical creatures, the ancient gods and goddesses, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment.
God. Yeah.
And we're going to set the intention that this healing meditation and that the readings this evening are for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And we're going to begin by calling in the divine energy to meet us at the top of our head, at the crown, and just take a moment to experience how you feel that, how you sense that, how you see that. So you may feel heat or pressure or tingling. You may see light. However the divine energy connects with you, just take a moment of gratitude to feel that.
Yeah.
And even if you don't feel it or see it, just having that knowing that you are connecting in this moment.
Yeah.
For we all connect in our own unique way and have our own path. And we're going to call in the divine energy to begin to clear our third eye, clear our sixth chakra, and really start to clear those spinning thoughts and ideas and beliefs that maybe are distracting us in this moment. So with each breath, just bring your attention back to the moment, back to your breath or back to your heartbeat.
Yeah.
And if you have energy that is focused on the past, worrying about what was or what has been, just take a moment to acknowledge that and then bring that energy into the now. Bring it into this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we want to call all of our energy back into our body so that we can heal and clear what is ready. And if you have any energy that is distracted into the future, worrying about what could be, what will be, that to-do list that you have for tomorrow, the stuff you need to accomplish before you go to bed, just let all of that go in this moment. It will still be there when we're done, but this is your moment for you in this breath.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're open up our channels of communication with our spiritual team. Our team communicates in many different ways, and sometimes we've blocked a couple channels. We've been worried about seeing or worried about hearing, maybe about feeling. And just take a moment to clear and open that so we can have clear communication with our spiritual team. And take a moment to clear and open your perception so that it holds all of your senses, all 5 of your senses plus your intuition, and really allow that to expand and open. My team is saying open to 7 senses, not just 6. So your intuition is held in the three-dimensional version of you, but having your seventh sense that opens to the other dimensions and the other ways that you could experience your team.
Yeah.
And opening up your ears so that you can hear clearly, but also so that you can hear others clearly. And when you do that, they will hear you, understanding the little signals that we get that may not be verbally spoken, but noticing the patterns that show up, noticing the animal totems that are calling your attention. Beginning to open the energy in your throat area, in the fifth chakra, and really even into the back of your skull, at the base of your skull. And allowing that energy to expand and open so that you are able to express your authentic truth, your authentic self. And so you're open to receiving divine wisdom in those flashes of insight that come in as an aha moment. So when they are both wide open, you have more room to receive and expand. And allowing the energy in the back of your neck and the stress to gently release. All the ways you've held on to the words that you wish you could have said, or words that you wish you could have taken back and not said. And all the ways you haven't expressed your true you. And this is a moment in time for you to drop all your masks, all your pretenses, where there's nobody here but you. You and your spiritual team and the divine, and you get to just be in this moment. So allow all of that shielding energy that we put on to hold in place the version of ourselves for other people. We don't need to hold that right this second.
Yeah. Yeah.
And noticing the energy in the tops of your shoulders where you hold all your responsibility, the weight, the gravity that pushes down that you've created. And really allowing yourself a moment to just release it. You can imagine it sliding off your shoulders, or a member of your team taking this heavy cloak off of you. And it'll be there for you when you're done. But there's no need to be holding responsibility in this moment of now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And really reaching in and opening your heart. And there are two aspects of your heart. The heart that is part of your connection to the universe. The part of you that is part of the oneness, part of consciousness. That part of your heart, just allowing that a moment of breath in this physical body. And then as that opens and expands, allowing your heart that holds all of your love, all of your disappointment, your grief, carries the weight of the shame and the guilt. which aren't true for you. So taking any energy in your heart right now that is not true and allowing it to just gently dissolve.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And opening the gateways to connect to your inner child and allowing your child to step forward and be free of all the trauma and the heavy energy from our childhood that we've placed upon our child. But it is not the child's responsibility to carry any of that energy, but to be here to remind us about joy and wonderment and magic and how to create it in our lives.
Yeah.
And giving space for our child to stretch and grow.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And opening the gateway to connect to our inner adult and allowing space for our adult to finally take a deep breath, to stop all the doing and have a moment of being. Our adult helps us take action in our physical and spiritual missions, but sometimes gets bogged down in all of the doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
And opening the gateway to connect to our inner warrior and really allowing the warrior a moment of peace. Because in this moment, there's nothing to battle. There's nothing to advocate for. There's no need to fight. But having gratitude for all that your warrior does for you and helps you through many challenges in our lives. But right now, your warrior can just breathe.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And opening the gateway to connect to our inner sage and the elder that we've carried with us through each and every lifetime. The one who holds all the knowledge from all of the lifetimes that we've ever accumulated. And when we open the gateway in the communication with our sage elder, we can have the experience of inner knowing without having to go back and relearn all the things we learned in other lifetimes.
Yeah.
And can provide wisdom and guidance so that we don't have to make the same mistakes we've made in other lifetimes
Yeah.
and in other experiences.
Yeah.
And moving into our third chakra just below the rib cage and releasing fear in all of the ways it shows up in our lives. And it may show up in anger, in frustration, and in resentment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It may show up in judging others or feeling judged by others.
Yeah.
It may show up in stress and anxiety and overwhelm, or even in panic.
God, 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 God.
Nice. And releasing any other energy that is squeezing your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence.
God,
Anything that makes you feel less than, or not enough, or too much.
God, 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 yeah,
Good. You guys got a lot going on in there. So really just allow that last of that fiery energy to release. And it's good for us to have our fire element in balance. Then we can take action and we're not wasting our fire on things that aren't happening in this moment right now.
yeah, yeah,
And moving down into your second chakra and really allowing the energy right below the belly button, allowing that energy to begin to clear. Any emotions that you have been unable to express, any ways that you've been unable to feel your life fully, any ways that you've stopped yourself from being an emotional being.
yeah, yeah,
And when that second chakra gets out of balance, it impacts all of our relationships. So releasing all the toxic energy from all of our relationships. And toxic energy comes when there's an imbalance, when there's more giving than receiving, or more taking than giving. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you have one toxic relationship, that energy bleeds into all other relationships, whether it is with people or with objects or with yourself.
yeah, yeah,
And we're going to take a moment to open up the gateway to connect to your inner critic, the biggest bully on the planet, right? And release some of the energy that your bully has held on to. Some of the ways that it talks to you in an unkind manner. For none of those words or thoughts or beliefs are from the Creator, from the divine. All of those were placed inside of you under the influence of someone else. So without those beliefs, the inner critic does not exist. Can you imagine for a moment how your life would change if you were friends with your critic? If your critic helped guide you rather than putting you down?
yeah,
Because when we release the bully energy within ourselves, we no longer have to share it with others. This is how we stop the bullying. We start within. Nice. And moving down into our first chakra and really releasing any additional energy that creates a feeling of insecurity, of not being safe. Anything related to your home, your job, your family of origin, your current family, or people that you live with.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
And really returning that energy to a place of serenity.
yeah,
And remembrance that we're supported by the divine. When we remember the divine is there to support us and we ask for support, it is there in an instant. But we have to remember to ask.
yeah,
And allowing that energy to move through your hips and down your legs so that it will take root beneath the earth, allowing you to become a fully grounded, anchored tree of life that you are. For only when we're fully connected and fully embodied can we experience the true blooming that the tree of life has to offer.
yeah,
And allowing all of the released energy to go into the earth and allow it to compost and become fertilizer for new energy to take root. And we ask the Divine Mother, Grandmother Earth, to send her beautiful energy up and nourish us, filling in all the spaces where we've released the old and made room for new. And filling those spaces with creation energy, warm, nurturing, supportive creation energy, no strings attached. And as it makes its way up our legs and gives us our foundation and our ability to walk forward on the red road, and allowing the energy to move up through your pelvic floor and allow you to sit in your own being. And bringing it up through your lower belly and supporting and nurturing all of those organs that work so hard to help you be you.
yeah, yeah,
So I think a few of us had a little bit more New Year's than others. So we're just going to give a little extra love into that liver that maybe worked hard with the additional adult beverages that might have been consumed. It's all good. But you don't want a cranky liver. And then bringing the energy up and beginning to fill in your lungs and your ribs and your heart. And allowing your heart to breathe and expand into life, into a space of gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And filling up a space where you love yourself, you love your inner critic, and then you're able to share love with others. Maybe you need to name your inner critic. Mine's Blanche. Blanche is cranky sometimes, but helps when she has her own name and is separate from me. And then allowing the energy to come up and fill your throat and move down your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. Giving you space to give and receive evenly, lovingly. And opening up the pathways for you to speak and be your authentic truth, your authentic self. And allowing the energy to move up through the top of your head, really expanding your intuition, your connectedness, and allowing the energy to overflow and cleanse, restore, and repair your aura in all of its layers. And remembering that our aura is in front of us and behind us, including behind your left shoulder and behind your left neck, side of your neck. It's on either side of us, including the right side, kind of near that liver. And it's above us and below us, a few feet beneath the earth below us. And expanding from our physical layer to the emotional layer in all directions, in all dimensions. Through the mental process layer, in all the dimensions. Through the spiritual layer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even through other lifetimes and our karmic debt. In each and every direction. In each and every dimension.
Yeah.
And now take a moment to send healing energy. Simply hold the intention that energy is being sent to Grandmother Earth for lovingly supporting us, giving us shelter and food and water and air to breathe. And sending healing out to any beings who have asked for help, who are in need of help or healing, as long as it is for the good of all and harm to none. Then take a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team. for being with you here in this moment, guiding you to your healing, your clearing, and transmitting messages for you to receive.
God.
Now we're gently going to bring our energy back into this moment, into the now. You might want to stretch or yawn or wiggle your fingers or toes. And it's okay if you get really sleepy. I've had a number of people who say they have trouble like waking up after. Well, my team always describes it as, sometimes you have to be under to get the healing. I say my team puts me down. I guess that could have some bad connotations to it, but it feels like spiritual anesthesia because sometimes we get in our own way. And so if you go into a deeper sleep or you have more difficulty releasing the end of the meditation, it's because you're not done yet. So just let it be. It's fine. It's always here to watch again. All right. All right. So we're going to go to the card readings. And I said earlier that these cards apparently tonight are for the whole year. So we're going to use the tarot deck that is the Tarot of Love. And I'm sorry I don't have the box, but it's clear in another room. And it'd be strange to have me leave and try to go find it. The deck just wanted to come. So I'm going to start with Rob Kendall. He's the first one who asked. So I'm going to pull for you first, Rob. And for those of you who know the tarot deck, don't try to compare it to the original tarot. This has a very different energy. So while there are some correspondence, most of it is unique to this deck. Okay. So your card for the year is Knight of Stars. And a knight is male energy that's on the beginning of a journey. And the Knight of Stars is an energy of adventure. This is a year for you that is about trying new things, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and doing it in a kind of fearless way. We get really caught up in doing things the same way over and over again, but our inner child gets so bored, right? So this is time for you to do some of those ideas that you've had brewing for a number of years and just take a chance, because what's the worst thing that could happen? Even when we fail, we learn. So it's time for you to sort of put on that sort of young male energy, ready for adventure, ready to head out and try new things, and put the old, crotchety Rob to the side and let him have a timeout for now and really give yourself a chance to try some new wonderful things in the new year. And the next card is for Julie Hedges. And Julie, your card is the 10 of Trees. So the 10 of Trees is about loyalty. And this is very much connected to your heart. So it's the love that you have for family, for others, but it's this kindred relationship energy, this sense of you being there for someone and someone being there for you. And it feels like in the past you haven't allowed your heart to be this wide open with all the beams glowing. And when we do that, we instill in others a sense of devotion, a sense of connection. And that's when loyalty happens. when somebody feels like you are giving fully and they want to give fully back. And that's where you want to look for a relationship, not from someone who's just taking from you, but someone who gives back as much as you send out. Okay, it's a huge heart beam. So I love that for you. Woohoo! All right. So Julie, nice. Your card for the year is the Three of Trees. I love the star here and it's shining. And the Three of Trees is all about dedication. This is often seen as like the friendship card. It's when you gather together and you care about one another and that you're willing to help one another. So it feels like a group of soul sisters. How's that? That's probably the best way for me to describe that. And coming together for you to feel like part of this tight-knit group and that you're seen for you and you're able to see other people in their truth as well. All right? Woohoo! I'm loving that. All right, the next card is for Mary Ellen. So Mary Ellen, don't freak out. So your card is the Five of Hearts. Okay? And in this card, it shows that there is sorrow attached to it. But that's not really what I'm feeling as the theme for you. This is a time for you to clear your heart. You're going to spend this year clearing your heart, releasing things that maybe have been held on to for a long time that really no longer serve you, that really aren't you. And so I feel like there'll be a lot of release and expression, but I don't feel like you're going to have a year filled of sadness. It's more that you are going to release old wounded energy that you've held on to a long time. And remember to reach out to your team to support you and love you and fill you up as you release that. And we all have times where that's true. You know, in 2017, that I did a lot of that releasing. I mean, I would say Niagara Falls and I were best friends with the amount of water flow. But it was old sorrow that I'd held on to that no longer, it was filling me, but filling me with dense energy that wasn't how light and bright I truly am. And I feel that for you, that to lighten and brighten who you are, to match who you really are on the inside, there's going to be some releasing going on. Okay? All right. So Christina. Ooh, nice card. The Ace of Angels. So this card is the Wisdom card. So think of it as you are going to have a connection to the divine where wisdom is going to pop in for you. It's like you're being handed a gift of knowledge from your spiritual team. And for you, I think it's an expansion into remembering some of the ancient knowledge, you know, as you go through. I mean, you are graduating the second year of the school this year, so you'll be stepping into the final year of, you know, your training, and part of that is accessing all the ancient wisdom that you've held on to. And it feels like that expansion will start to happen sooner than later. But that's a good thing because you're all about knowing and getting it on paper, right? That's why I hired you. So that sounds great. And maybe there'll be some wisdom that comes through because you're doing some transcription stuff for me. All right, Andrew. Hope you had a happy new year, dear. Your card is the Four of Angels. So this card is a rest. It says rest. And the way I see that is you've been through a lot, especially in the last year. And sometimes our soul needs time to recharge our batteries. I went through being, sick over the holidays. And it was interesting because, no remedies worked on it except for me sleeping and drinking a lot. And coming out of that, it was that I'd been doing so much that I needed a break. And the only way my team could get me to take a break was to literally make me slow down. So take time to rest and recharge your battery. Don't feel guilty when you're not doing. Because sometimes there's moments of not doing that are meant for us to make space for our soul to grow. And that's what I'm feeling for you. So allow yourself that time. You're in no hurry. All right. Carol. Mwah. So glad to see you. You're going to have to go visit Neshi sometime. Go up and take a class. I'll be back in May, so you can come up and see me. So your card is the Two of Hearts. Woohoo! This is a card about really coming together in a heartfelt space. So this new year is about you connecting on a deeper level. Maybe expanding your relationship to have fuller communication, fuller understanding. It's becoming two individuals that have come together, not somebody completing another, because nobody's empty. We're all full. And so when we come together to enhance each other, then we have union. Otherwise, we sort of collapse. If we're sort of trying to get energy from the other person, we're kind of sucking it out of each other and we end up depleted and exhausted. So this is a shift in your relationship to where you become two full individuals who can stand on their own and then come together and enhance each other, which is so sweet. I love that. I love that for you. All right. And Bobby. Bobby, yours is the Five of Stars. And this card is about diversity. So the diversity card comes up when we get really caught up in the same old, same old. We do the same thing. We eat the same food. We hang out with the same people. So this year coming up is about you spreading your wings, you trying new things, creating more diversity in your friends, in your book list, in all aspects of your life, maybe even trying new restaurants or new food. But it's about experiencing the fullness that is out there for you. We get very narrow-minded focus and think that's all there is. And so what I'm hearing is try something new every day. Whether it's a new food or it's listen to a new song or a new artist or a new genre of music, or maybe you go experience a new museum or go to a new park. But it's about trying new things and really casting a wider net. You have a much bigger energy field than you are using. You're keeping yourself in a kind of small container. It's time to spread out and try it and spread out your interests and stuff too, so that you can be a fuller version of Bobby. Nice. All right, Maureen. Hi, Happy New Year's to you. Congratulations on your new show here on Star Nations. I can't wait. Woohoo! All right. Don't freak out. Your card for the year, my dear, is the Eight of Angels. This is the confusion card. Doesn't mean you're going to spend the whole year confused. The confusion card comes in when we go through a period where we are trying to grasp new things. So it feels like you have a lot of new things that are coming your way rapidly, and you're used to things being neat and orderly. And so you're going to have a little chaos. Think of it as the, charismatic leader tornado. That charismatic leader tornado happens when we're creating. We create a lot of chaos before we get to what we're creating. And then we put it all together in a new way. And so for you, that can be a little unsettling because you like things to be a certain way. But they're telling you it's time for you to grow. So you're going to need a little bit of a upheaval. And honor the fact that it's stretching you and making you think more and going, I don't know the answer. Cool. Gives you an opportunity to find out the answer or to be okay with not having an answer. Sometimes there's stuff to learn from that. So that's what you got. So I'm excited for you because that sounds like you're shifting into a whole bunch of new things because it's not the predictable, which is really cool. All right. Carol. Hi, of course, for you and for Mitchell. Okay. So let's start with you. So your card for the year is Six of Stars. And in this deck, the Six of Stars, I said Six of Stars. Six of Hearts. Sorry about that, dear. I always see the star on her forehead and it makes me think stars. So in the Six of Hearts, this one is about your past life. So you're going to have a year where things that have happened in the past are going to come back into your awareness. And when it comes back into your awareness, it's an opportunity for you to heal it and not put it away on the shelf again. And that can be a little hard. That can cause some difficulty, but this is a year of transition. 2019 feels like a year of transition for the entire planet. So the only way for us to create a transition is for us to let go of doing it always the same way and holding on to things in our past that really have no relevance in our future and have relevance in our moment now. So there's going to be times where things are going to come up for you to heal for your past lives. But that's really cool because you don't have to hold on to it. So look for beliefs and patterns or things that keep happening. Like, geez, this keeps happening to me. That's one of those things that's trying to clear. And if you need help or guidance with that, feel free to reach out because it's one of my specialties, okay? All right, and for Mitchell. It's all right, Neshi. You got it. So Mitchell, your card is the Knight of Hearts. I love how his wings even have eyes to see, right? So the Knight of Hearts is a year of romance. That's the main theme. But what I feel in terms of the romance is that it's about learning how to keep your heart open. It can be so hard for us to keep our heart open when other people are all shut down around us. And this is your gift, is when you're able to send and share love anyways, then that's your healing. I have a feeling you're one of those people who gives great hugs. And that hug might be a huge healing for someone else. And if you haven't tried it, then do it. See how many people, I don't know if you remember, there was this time it was a few years ago on Facebook, a guy wore a a sign that said free hugs, and he just randomly gave hugs to strangers, and how many people that affected, and how many people needed it. Like, just out and out needed a hug, and here was some stranger who's like, I got one, I'll give it to you. And that shifted for a lot of people, and a number of people went on to carry on that tradition too. So sending the love out, sending the romance out, and yes, it could mean a romantic relationship. But sometimes we hear romance and we think that's the only way. This is really about being in the fullness of your heart and sharing it in a special way with as many people as you can. And what a cool thing to do for the new year. Woohoo! Thank you, Mitchell. We can all use that. All right, Michelle. Happy New Year to you too. Your card is the Ace of Stars. How cool is that? The Ace of Stars is the creation card. So this is going to be a very creative year for you. This is a lot of divine inspiration is going to come in and be like, light bulbs are going to be going off. So use it. And if you can't do the creative thing in that moment, write it down so you don't lose it. Because there's a lot of inspiration that's coming your way. And it doesn't have to all be for you. Sometimes we're used as a messenger to create, like, oh, that would look really, I've been one of those people who are like, will walk into a room and go, wow, I can really see this room being this beautiful shade of green. And somebody saying, I was just thinking about painting it. And you're like, oh, cool, I can see it green. That's how I see the room. It's got a lot of love energy and it feels like a cocoon. So you may be that messenger too of inspiration. So it may not all be, don't think of it as you have this huge workload from the divine, but more that there's lots of inspiration coming your way. And you get to create with it. So it's not just that ideas pop in, but you actually get to do things with it. Hey. All right, Cindy. Your card is the Six of Trees. And the Six of Trees is about being open to receiving. So this can be a harder thing than you would imagine. Most of us are really good at giving to other people, but we have a hard time saying yes, thank you, when somebody else offers us help or assistance or anything for that matter. And so this is a year for you to sort of surrender the need to be in control and say yes when somebody else offers to help you. And there's nothing weak about that. And it doesn't mean you're less than. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It means that you're open to receiving from the divine the way the divine wants to give to you. And the divine can't give to you if you're saying no to everyone that the divine sends as a messenger. Okay? So give yourself space to receive as much as you give, because that's when we're really in balance. All right? And, that's a tough one for us healers. We want to give. So it's hard to say yes sometimes, but do it anyways. All right, Jerry. Nice. Your card for the year is the Wheel. And this is different than the Wheel of Life. It's not the last card of the deck. It's the 10th card. And this card is about a breakthrough. This is about, you've been searching for something, you've been looking for the answers, or things have been staying the same old for a long time. And this is the energy, and this is a soul card, by the way. So this is from the Major Arcana. So this is your soul's lesson. This isn't just your lesson for the year. This is what your soul is working on for the whole year. And that is on creating the energy of breaking out of your old self, breaking out into the new you and allowing space for that change to happen. So I don't know if you guys have been hearing this pattern. There's a lot of changing and transition, but it's all for something better on the other side. So this is, you may feel a little squishy in the beginning of the year. And by that, I mean, things may feel like heavy or like they're not going the right way or that things are a challenge. That's good. Because those challenges are the things that will help you create change. And this feels like this big, like, boom. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do with my life. Okay, I'll do that then, rather than doing the same old, and being bored and unhappy. The breakthrough allows a lot of you to shine through and a lot of happiness. So cool. That sounds great. All right. So Deborah. Oh, thank you for the blessing. Hope you have a great new year too. Your card for the new year is the 7 of Stars. And the 7 of Stars is all about faith. So this is when we're in this beautiful, happy, connected place, and we just trust and know that the divine is going to take care of us. So there's going to be a number of times when you're challenged to keep the faith. But there's so many ways that having that faith is going to open up doorways. Like I feel like, it expands your work. It expands your personal life. I see some very nice person attached to that. And it also expands into you being more comfortable with like doing your artwork and that type of thing. Because it's a time for you to be creative and having faith that it's okay for you to just do something for you. And that, again, the divine is going to provide. But I feel like things are spicing up for you too. I like that. All right. Barbie, Happy New Year. Yes. Oh, you have a beautiful card for the new year. This is another one of the major arcana. This is the Moon card. And the Moon card in this deck is a little different because the Moon card it's got a couple different ways it's read in the original tarot. But in this particular deck, this is that your soul is going through a period where you've lived in an illusion. And it's time for the illusion to be lit up and brought to light. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means you probably haven't been able to be really you. When you haven't had the opportunity to be you, sometimes we take on the persona of who other people think we are. So like I have that clear memory of being mom and being wife and being dance teacher and being, the head of the preschool and being the snack mom. And, they were all like parts of me in that moment. That is not who I am now, right? And so if I stayed trying to be that person for someone else, it just wouldn't be me. And so the illusion sometimes is that we've been doing things a certain way to please other people and make them happy, but in return, we lose our own happiness. So this is a soul expansion. This is about your soul growing, and it's about bringing stuff out of the shadow. And stuff in the shadow does not have to be bad. It's just sometimes stuff that we've hidden. And there may be some gifts that you've hidden in there. Maybe some of your spiritual gifts you've hidden, your abilities, hint, hint, wink, wink, that are ready to pop. And they're ready to be trained. And they're ready to be brought out to be used as the gift that they're meant to be. All right. Can help you with that too if you need it. All right. I guess that's why I'll be teaching a class on Star Nations Academy soon. All right, Christine. All right. This is a great card for this. This is your new year. So remember, this is all year long. This card is the release card. This is a soul card. This is a big one. So the release card is all of the junk that you've had to go through. It's all coming up right now to clear and release. And this is leading to your metamorphosis. Metamorphoses. You're going to become the butterfly. How's that? So it's time for you to shed all of the layers that has kept you in this cocoon, and not one of your own making, one that other people have made for you. People have made a lot of decisions for you and haven't let you speak up for what you need and what you want. That's ending. This is time for you to blossom into who you're meant to be. Your voice is going to get stronger. You're going to have some support on how to do that. And know that as that transformation occurs, some people who are used to you being in the cocoon are going to be freaked out that you're turning into the butterfly. But the butterfly is who you're meant to be, right? And so they can just get over it. It's really that they're not comfortable with themselves when they put their discomfort on you. When you start to stretch and grow, if they're not comfortable with it, it's because they're not comfortable within themselves. And you don't have to own that. You don't have to receive that. You can say, thank you, but no thank you. So there's going to be some stuff that you need to release. But look at those things in a positive way. Not, oh no, this is happening to me again. But, oh good, this is here so I can release it. I don't want to ever go through this again. All right? Different way of thinking about it. All right. I don't know if you're a Leah or a Leah, so I'm going to say both because I know both. Happy New Year to you too. Yours is a soul card as well. It's called the Force. She's a powerful little angel. So the Force card comes to you today because this year is all about expanding your soul strength, really creating the resilience within you. It doesn't mean that everything's going to go wrong and you've got to be strong. It's you standing up for you, you learning how to be your own foundation. It's when you call on who you are for your strength and you don't look to others to validate you or say you are wonderful or whatever. It's knowing it within you and living that and showing that and teaching other people around you how to be that. As women especially, it is really important for us to stand in our feminine power and show other women how to do that because we've been sleeping for way too long. And so you are going to be one of those people this year who shows other people the way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have moments where you feel like you are going to collapse from all of that, then you reach out to your true tribe and you let them support you and help you fill back up. Okay? And don't be afraid to heal your way there. Wow. This year is exciting. I'm like, woohoo! I can't wait to get started. All right. Cindy Lynn. Nice card. Yours is a soul card as well, my dear. It's the Magician. Good card for you. The magician is in the beginnings of a spiritual journey. So it doesn't mean you're a brand newbie to this lifetime. It means that you've completed some sort of soul lesson and you're on a new path. You're on a new journey. And when we're in the energy of the magician has all the tools they need to create the life that they want. You are the creator. You don't need anyone else to help you in this time of creation. So this is you controlling your entire life and changing it to how you want it to be. So I'm going to challenge you to not complain. Because when we complain, we're upset with what we've created. Instead, if you don't like it, go, that's not what I meant. And you try again. Okay? And do the best you can to stay in your heart energy, stay in that positive flow, because, you know, a magician in the light can create amazing, beautiful things. A magician in the shadow can create amazing chaos. So I invite you to find ways to stay in the positivity and create from that place. Nice. All right. Karen, of course, you can have a card draw. So you have a soul card as well. You have the Empress. And the Empress card is the Mother card. And the Mother card is, you know, yes, it can mean we're a mother. But the mother in this instance is that you are going to hold the energy of nurturer, caretaker, and not in a place where it's like a burden, but because you're excited to do it. You're excited to help others. And the Empress holds an energy where other people turn to you for help. And an Empress is one who is another feminine leader in her power, who's helping and sharing and taking care of her tribe and doing it from a loving, nurturing place, not from an I told you so kind of place. So this is a lovely card for you for this year. It's filled with a lot of your own personal feminine power, and it's sharing that and teaching other people how to have that as well. Wow, some fabulous women power tonight for this year. Glad to have you guys all in one place. Jacqueline. Oh, your card, my dear, is the Three of Hearts. This is the Joy card. And the Joy card it's an interesting card because it's like the joy bubbles up from your feet all the way up through your body. And it has a lot of love energy in it, but it's firmly grounded and firmly rooted. So this card has a lot of energy around really respectful, loving friendships, really creating a community of people around you who are caring and truthful, and see you for you. They're not trying to make you into somebody else. And there's a lot of acceptance. And so to share this much joy, you know, sometimes we have to be reminded of pain and sorrow, because they're like a seesaw. And so in moments of pain or sorrow, find within your heart the love and the joy to bring it back into balance. It's just meant to show you as much pain as you've been able to hold. That's how much joy you're allowed to hold as well, because we are both ends of it. And it's where you put your focus. Do you put your focus on what you're grateful for and what you love, or what's wrong and what you need to fix? And that will really shift for you. All right, Denise. I love your sparkly picture. It's a great picture. Your card for the year is Queen of Stars. Notice how her heart is a star. So the Queen of Stars is the illuminator. So this means that the Queen of Stars is one who's here to guide others, to shine her own light, and help other people who are in a dark place. So you're giving hope and inspiration and guidance to people who are having a difficult time. And it takes a lot of courage to be this Queen of Stars. Because when you are the light, there are times when you would like to kind of step back into the shadows, but you're shining, right, for others to see. And so it causes us to go through moments of transparency where others see what's going on clearly. But when we are okay with who we are and we want to shine and help guide others, then they get to see all aspects of us. They get to see the nitty-gritty that we go through and the joyful, wondrous periods as well. Because then we are a real and true example that other people will want to follow. Because if we're just sort of an idealized, nothing bad ever happened to you, then people don't think you get them. But when you've been in their shoes and you can show them the way out, then there's that kinship that you can create, and you're able to light the way for them. Woo-hoo! Go ladies, go ladies, go ladies and men. All right, Jackie. Don't freak out about this card either. This one's a good card. So this card is the Shadow card. This is your soul card. So this card, I actually did this in a drawing today for someone, and it's her card for the year as well. And this is a year where you are going to be looking at what you're afraid of. What have you hidden away in the shadows that you haven't allowed to come out into the light? Now, I said this to somebody earlier. Lots of times we assume what's in the shadow is bad. But if we had psychic gifts, for example, that other people didn't understand when we were children, we put them away because they were bad. And yet they were a gift from the divine that we are meant to use to help other people. So when we have things like that are our gifts that we're meant to share with humanity, they have to come out of the shadow. We have to go conquer our fears. What are your fears about using your special gifts? And when you conquer those fears, then you can finally bring those gifts out to humanity, out to other people the way you're meant to. And there's a really good book on shadow. So I'm going to say it slowly, and maybe somebody magical will type it in, like Christina, if she's still listening. But it's called Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And it's by Debbie Ford. And it talks about all the different ways we hide parts of ourselves away because other people were afraid of that, or we were threatening because we were so bright or so magical or so insightful. I used to know things. I'm sure you can't imagine it, but I used to know things and would tell adults when they were having trouble with things. And the last thing you want is a precocious 3-year-old telling you the authentic truth. And so some of my gifts I put into the shadow because I was afraid of using them because the grown-ups around me were afraid of my abilities. So you may have things like that that are hiding. And sometimes it's our artist that's hiding, or our intuitive piece that's hiding, but it's time for that to come out. All right. So, Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. All right. Lindsay. Oh, even Lindsay knows that book. My whole school had to read it this year. So your tree, my dear, is the Four of Trees. So the Four of Trees is, surprise, surprise, it's a year of growth for you. Gee, surprising as a first-year student that you'd be having a year of growth ahead of you. So this is a time where you get to start to take root as your own being. You start to stretch into who Lindsay is and not who everybody else wants Lindsay to be. And so this is a time for you to start to decide who you want to be. And it doesn't have to be forever. It can just be for right now. You know, you're super young and, you know, you get to do your life, you know, phases of your life over and over again. So don't think that you're choosing for a lifetime. Think about choosing what's right for you right now. And then your soul will come into alignment. Okay. But this is a time for you to stretch and grow. Yay. All right. And hi, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us. Nice. Your card is the Eight of Stars. And the Eight of Stars is a really cool one because this has this sense of there's been a lot of energy building, you know, and it's sort of coming together. Now it's going to come together and it's either going to explode, volcano, or it's going to create a power surge. And a power surge can be a really good thing because you can use that energy to really transform and change things. So it's like you've been gathering your strength to be able to create something big to change. You know, sometimes we're exhausted and so we don't have enough oomph to really do what we need to. So this is spending some time this year gathering back the energy that you've given away to others. And if you listen to the healing, you'll start to, on a regular basis, you'll learn how to do that or learn from Lindsay. And you'll start to bring your energy back to you. And when you bring your energy back to you, then you get to use all of it to create something and change. So it has a little bit of an explosive quality to it. But if you guide it and you choose how you're going to use that energy, it will be less painful. It's happening with or without you is how my team is saying it. So either you control how the energy comes in and gets used, or it's going to come in and it's going to create upheaval and you'll have to change. I'm always all for choosing to change on my own terms rather than having it applied to me so that I have to change. But even the best of us have trouble with that. So it'll happen either way, dear. All right. So, Allie, your card for this year is the Five of Trees. So the Five of Trees has this limitation quality to it. So it feels like you're being kept a little bit in a box, sweetie. Like you have to follow other people's expectations a lot. Like your parents want you to go to college, so you go to college, even though it's not what you want. Or you pick a major that somebody else wants you to be, and it's not your heart and your soul's desire, but it might make you more money than what you really want to do. So it feels like you're sort of being put in a box, almost in a cage, my dear. So it's your choice whether you're going to allow yourself to be placed under all these limitations, or you get to come to a place where you notice all the restrictions and limitations being placed upon you, and you can choose to release those. And You can go, no, that's what you want. That's not what I want. That's something that you're going to have to learn to say. It's such a hard thing when we're young. It's much easier when we get older. But those first few times that you start to use your authentic truth, then people start to listen to, well, what does Allie want? And what does Allie need? And you start to begin to answer that question for yourself rather than having other people answer it for you. Feels like you're going to go through some growing pains. And that happens when we learn to differentiate from our parents. And some of us are still doing it. Okay, so there you go, sweetie. All right, Cynthia, you have a soul card as well, sweetie, for the year. This is the Emperor card. This has the masculine ruler energy in it. And in that space, it's a very fatherly energy. Now, this can have to do with you dealing with father energy in your life, dealing with father energy that you've had difficulty with in the past, or learning to deal with father energy in the present. But it also can be, there are times as women where we step into a father type of role. So we become a leader in a male energy. And what I mean by that is male energy is very much about doing. It's not about nurturing. It's about doing. So instead of like lovingly guiding, it's about saying, this is how it's done. And this is how it's meant to be. And there's nothing wrong with that energy. There are times when we have to put on our big girl panties and we need to take charge, right? And so this is going to be a year where you really need to step into that power and just be careful because you don't want to lose the feminine aspect of you as you hold that father energy. That's the key, because we often turn it off because we see the female energy as weakness. But we need a mother and a father energy to keep us balanced. And so maybe you've spent a lot of time in mother energy and now it's time for you to balance out with father. Or maybe it's time to come to terms with the father energy so that you're not rebelling against it. Okay, but this is a time for you to step into the fact that you have this masculine energy that needs to get things accomplished. And it's going to be done from that very, it's an emperor. You are in charge of the whole energy, not just your kingdom, right? All right. Good luck with that, sweetie. Okay, Crystal. Crystal, your card is a soul card as well. It's called the Retreat in this deck. And the Retreat is really cool because this means that you're going to have a year where you're spending time in contemplation, in a meditative state, in time with your spiritual team, and really coming to know the whys about why Crystal is Crystal and who Crystal is supposed to be and how are you supposed to shine the crystal light for everyone to see. And this means you're going to have to build in some time for quiet, whether that quiet is in meditation in a sacred space or whether you're somebody who really gets clarity when they're out in nature. However you open and are free from distractions, you're going to need a lot of time for that. And this is a time when you go inward and you also choose those things that you want to let go of, you've held on to for a long time, and maybe you don't need to carry it anymore. It's time to lighten your load. Yeah. The thing that keeps popping in is a Sonia Choquette book. It's called Traveling at the Speed of Love. And it's about finding all the ways that if we approach our life from a place of love rather than fear or worry or complaining, then how our life can shift. And so maybe there are moments of contemplation of how to switch your life in that direction as well. All right. Jazz, nice. Nice to have you on. Thank you for joining us. So this is your card for the year, my dear. This is the 8 of Hearts. It's lovely for the year. So the 8 of Hearts is, it's a chance for you to shift your relationship energy. Many of us go into relationships as if the other person completes us. I think I said this earlier, that if we feel like the other person completes us, then we're in a place where we don't feel whole. And that creates codependent energy. And codependent energy is very difficult for us to maneuver. So this is a time for you to learn how to step into true love and true relationship energy. And you no longer have to need someone else. You will want someone else to be there for companionship, for support, for encouragement, but you don't need them and they don't need you. Love is not a drug. Love is an even energy exchange from a full place to another full place. And it just creates an expansion. So this is a time for you to learn how to expand your relationship energy and release any ways that you may be codependent with somebody else. And we all are codependent. We're programmed that way. But release the ways that aren't serving you. That makes sense? All right. Tina. Of course. Your card is the King of Stars. The King of Stars is really cool because the King of Stars is an alchemist. And an alchemist is someone who takes something really difficult and turns it into something beautiful. So that sense of taking coal and turning it into a diamond, some people get very literal around that, but it has more to do with transformational work. And it means that you're in a space where you're transforming your life. You're taking things that were painful and difficult and finding the gift inside of them and really being able to step into the positivity of what you've been through. Again, we go through the darkest of things so that we can be the lightest of things. The more pain and sorrow and darkness that we've gone through, the more joy and love and happiness that we are able to experience. So you're in the phases of shifting out of the dark and into the light. And it's transformation energy at its best. So you're in a good place. Star Nations is a great place to help you with that. Thank you for being here. All right. Next, we have Alexandria, I believe. All right. So Alexandria, yours is the 10 of Angels. I drew this for someone's card earlier today. So the 10 of Angels is, it's a trying card. Not that it's bad. It's just, if we're used to controlling everything in our life, this is a tough one. This is a year where you're going to have to learn how to surrender. The old way of life is ending. and a new way is beginning. And the more you fight it, the more you try to control it, the harder it's going to be. And it is one of the most difficult lessons that we go through, and we have to go through it a number of times in our life to experience mastery of it. But it's that allowing the divine to unfold the way it's meant to. And what happens is generally there's something that we can't stand in our life anyways, but it's painful to think about shifting it and changing it. So we stay with it over and over and over and over again. And finally, the universe is like, this isn't the best thing for you. So now, boom, here you go. And now you got to change. So the sooner you hand it over to the divine, like, this is all going to unfold in divine timing. There is something better for me on the other side of this. There's a reason I'm going through this difficult thing, but I know on the other side it is even better than I can imagine. And when you can hold that energy, you go through this very rapidly. And the more you resist it, the longer it drags out. Let me tell you, the longer it drags out. So do the best you can and seek help. Reach out to your friends. You find out who your true friends are in these times. Those who are really there for you when you need them. All right. Rob's friend, Melissa. Your card is the Two of Stars. So Melissa, the Two of Stars is, the energy is around boldness. It's about really coming together and being your authentic self, being brave enough to be you. No, it's a year where you stop pretending that you're somebody you're not, and really sort of, I know bold is a certain word, but it's like you kind of go out there. I feel like, you've got this superhero costume on and you're stripping off the overclothes that have hidden your superhero underneath, and you're stepping out there and you're being you. And when you do that, that opens windows for more friendship, more love, more understanding. Actually, it even improves like your job experience when you set those boundaries on what you need and what you want, and you're clear about it. Then that's what you get. But when we're wishy-washy and we kind of go, well, maybe, and then that doesn't ever serve us. So it's time for you to set up these new boundaries about who you are, what you want, and how you want it. And, I'm hearing big, brave dog. Time to be a big, brave dog. And know that you deserve it. That's the big thing. You deserve the things to be able to speak what you need. Don't let anybody else choose that for you. All right. Violet. Congratulations on winning the chakra kit on the Star Nations trivia. That's going in the mail tomorrow. I'm so excited for you. All right. So yours is also a soul card. It's the Union. And the Union is the Lover's card in the original tarot deck. And it's got a little bit of a different flavor to it. This is about coming together, a collaboration of coming together where the people are authentically themselves. There's your, in the card, they're naked, right? But it's because they're not hiding behind anything. They're just being totally vulnerable, totally open, totally themselves. And so it's a year for you where you create more relationships that are set up that way, that people are just being themselves and there's no more guessing and no more cloaking, which means there's no more misunderstanding. Because when we don't speak our truth, then the other person is trying to guess. And when they're trying to guess, even if you're psychic, you don't totally get what they want or what they need. It's how you interpret the vibration that they're experiencing. So this is about being able to be open, vulnerable, and raw, to where you can say what you need and have that need met. And when you're like that, then you're that person for other people too. So how cool is that? I love that. All right, Judy. All right, one for you and one for Rick. I'm going to pull a card for you first and then your brother. That's how my team is interpreting what you're saying. I know your brother Rick needs the card, but you need the card first to be able to support Rick with his card. So your card, no wonder, your card is the Three of Angels. And the Three of Angels is the clarification card. So the clarification card for you, so this year, this is for the whole year. This is when you start to become clear. Clear on what you need, clear on what you want, and clear on what other people need and what other people want. We make a lot of assumptions and a lot of guesses a lot of the time. And most of that's inaccurate. So this is a time for you to spend the year saying, this is what I think you want. Is that true? Or this is what I think you need. Is that true? And giving them the opportunity to have input. And maybe, or this is what I think you said, or this is what I think you meant by what you said. And letting them say it back to you. It's, most of us have been taught to listen, to be able to speak. Listen for the next opening to speak. So what I'm seeing is like we listen just, and we're watching for the person to take a breath, and then we start talking in their breath. But we didn't actually hear and interpret what they were saying, embody what they were saying. But when you truly learn how to listen, then somebody speaks, you allow them to speak, and then afterwards you repeat back to them what they said or what you interpreted that they said, and they can say, yeah, that's what I meant, or they're like, no, that's not really what I meant. And it opens the communication to be really clear, and it's really healing for everyone, because when you learn to listen, then other people learn to listen to you. So for Rick, his card is the Nine of Angels. So you both have angel energy. And the Nine of Angels is a guardian energy. So for this year, Rick's energy, your energy is around the guardian angel. And in that energy, it's letting you know that your guardian angel is going to be with you at all times throughout the year. But there are times when you are going to take on a guardian angel type of role for others. And we're all put in that energy from time to time where we are the messenger. We're the one who steps in, and we don't even know that we're doing it usually. So don't go around trying to rescue other people. That's not what I'm talking about. It's that you will be put in a place to allow somebody else to feel safe, and you didn't even realize they weren't feeling safe. You're just going to be able to say the right thing to calm their energy and allow them space to come back. So there is a lot of angel energy around both you and Judy this year. And so call on your angelic team and your spiritual team whenever you need them. You're not taking them away from somebody else by calling them in for you. There's more than enough to go around. We all have our own team. And they're not helping somebody else by helping us. Okay? All right. Robin. All right, Robin, your card is the 7 of Hearts. So the 7 of Hearts means this year for you has a lot of choices in it. And that can be good and that can be bad, right? So it just means that there are going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of forks in the road. And you just need to remember that just because you have choices doesn't mean it's the only choice you'll ever get. So don't be stuck by the fact that you have to choose. We choose all the time. We choose in every moment. But there are times when we freak out that we've got this choice to make as if there's a right and a wrong. It's more of what's right for me in this moment, or what's right for me to head down my spiritual path. And just choose. And the more you get comfortable with choosing, the more opportunities you will receive to choose along your spiritual path. It's when we freak out about making little choices about like what to make for dinner that they're not going to give us a big thing like, should I do this or should I do that in my spiritual path? If you can't choose dinner, you can't choose something like, what's the next step on my spiritual path? So this is going to be a year with a lot of choices in it. And so that may feel a little challenging, but I feel like each choice is leading you closer and closer to something amazing. So, yay! All right, I'm going to take a quick drink. All right, so Anne, your card, my dear, for the year is 3 of Stars. I love this painting. I would like to own it. So the 3 of Stars is visions. This is divine inspiration coming in. You have all sorts of things for the future. You're going to see where you're going, or see where other people are going, or see where something is trying to evolve. And you'll get to see the big picture. You're going to be introduced to the big picture for a number of different things. It's not just one area of your life, it's many different areas. And the more comfortable you are with receiving the visions, the more visions you'll have to share. And sometimes the vision isn't for you at all. Sometimes somebody is stuck on something and you walk in and are like, can I help? And they're like, I don't know, I have this. And then you go, well, what about if you do that? And you see the vision of the possibility for them, and that shifts them, right? So sometimes our visions aren't all for us, you know. Mine often aren't. They're very much for other people. And for me too, but a lot, the more I'm comfortable doing them for other people, the more I get them for me. Does that make sense? So there's going to be a lot of that. So you might want to have some lavender on hand, because when I have a lot of visioning coming in, my third eye gets a little cranky. All right, Minnie. Nice. So don't freak out by what it says if you read it. So this is the 10 of Stars. And so this energy, if it's in the shadow, it's hoarding. That's not how I see the energy for you. This is you gathering together all that is needed to create something new. So in a moment, it may feel like you're holding on to energy, but it's kind of like I spoke with another person earlier, where your energy has sort of been spread out all over and you're slowly taking it back. You're slowly bringing your power back. So in a way, you're gathering everything together. And from that place of gathering, then you have all this energy for new creation. So there's going to feel times when you may feel like stuck or things aren't moving quickly or like, oh, you want it to hurry up and happen. You need this gathering time for the energy to come back. You gave away your power a lot in the past few years. You allowed other people to take the limelight from you, and it's time to take all that energy back. So that's a gathering that you need to do to call your own light back to you. And then it will allow you to shine the way you're meant to. And remember, we don't help other people by giving our light away. Okay? Shine your brightest to teach other people how to shine their light. Don't give your light to them to make them feel brighter, because that's what you did in the past. You let somebody else have your light so they could feel like they were shining brighter. And you know what I'm talking about. All right. New joy. All right, your card is the Seven of Angels, my dear. So the Seven of Angels is progress. Isn't that a great card for the new year? So it's literally that things are shifting, things are changing, but it's all forward momentum. So don't be unsettled when you have these moments of change that come up. Transition. That's the theme for this year, is that there's a lot of energy that needs to transition, especially between now and summer. So, and for some people, it's going all the way till fall. So this is a time where stuff is coming up for you to go, nope, don't want it anymore. And then you can move forward. You know, it's kind of like you're cleaning your spiritual closet of all of the clothes that no longer fit and the things that people gave you that you never liked. You get to donate them and get rid of them, and it gives you energy to move forward. But it's all forward progress. Even if you feel stuck at moments, just know that that's time when you're gathering strength to move forward even farther. All right? All right. Lindsay June. Hi, sweetness. I love that this is your card. This is awesome. So you got the Ace of Trees. And the Ace of Trees, my dear, is the Abundance card. What a cool card to have for the whole year next year. Abundance. New ways for you to bring abundance in. And I know you are really good at this. But there's times when you call in abundance only for a particular, you want a particular thing. And so you call in all the abundance for that thing. But this is to teach you how to have abundance all the time, not just sometimes, not sporadic spurts of it, because you're really good at sporadic spurts of it. But this is about opening the channel so that the abundance flows at a regular pace, so that you never have those moments of going without. That you always are in the flow and always are in that space. And it's not just money, but it's ideas and creativity and relationships and all of that. All right? Nice. Ben would like a card from the Water Lady. Of course, Ben. Oh, my heart. So your card, sweetie, is the Page of Hearts. And the Page of Hearts is all about childhood innocence. And this is your gift, sweetie. This is your gift. You get to share that sweet, loving heart with all the people that you can. And maybe sometime soon, you're going to join me and share some of your love energy out there with people. because we need that from you. And the grown-ups out here need to be reminded. Yep. That one's a good one. The grown-ups need to be reminded how to be kids. I'm going to have a drink. Hold on. The last bits of my cold. So the innocence is you sharing your joy and your love and reminding us grown-ups how to do that, because we've forgotten and we get grumpy, and we need beautiful, bright spirits like you to remind us how to be happy and joyful and have magic in our lives, okay? So thank you, and help show us the way. All right, Joanne. Your card, my dear, is the 9 of Hearts. All right, the 9 of Hearts is the stability card. And this is a card where you become like Mother Earth. You become that feminine strength that other people turn to. And you become, the energy this year for you is about, you're very secure and stable in who you are. And other people are going to be going through all this transition energy, and they will need you and your stability to help ground them, to help remind them how to take root and how to be themselves. And you have this big heart that you can share with other people and hold space for them as they go through this. Because this is happening on a planetary basis. This isn't just happening to a few people. There are a lot of people. Some people started the transition early, so they would be there to be the stable ones to help guide people through this. But so you're one of the people who probably already went through the shifting and the changing. And so you're like, yep, I've been there and you can do this. I did it. But you're going to do this from a mama energy, a supporting, nurturing mama energy. And that allows people to feel safe and comfortable with you. And it anchors them so they have a place to connect to. So thank you for that. All right. Marie. Your card for the year is 2 of Woods. And the 2 of Woods, 2 of Trees. I always see the woods there. And so this is all about being flexible. And people don't realize that trees are flexible. They think about them as being stiff and not moving. But how often have we seen them withstand these windstorms that shake them and move them and would knock weaker ones over? So this is about learning how to, as the winds of change blow you, to be able to stay rooted. Allowing yourself to adapt, to shift, to not be stuck in the way you've always done it. Try new ways, because maybe that's what's being called on in this transition time. And literally, that's what I keep hearing. As the winds of change blow you, remain flexible. Okay? And just allow, because the strong trees go with the wind, right? And they don't try to stand and push against the wind. They allow the wind to blow them, but they still stand firm. All right. Sam, Your card is the Two of Angels. The Two of Angels is the balance card. So this year will be all about you as you're getting tossed and turned, as we all will be, is coming back to a state of balance. It may feel like all your balls are up in the air, but you forget that you're a supreme juggler, right? And they may be mostly up in the air, but that doesn't mean that they're all going to fall down. So as things are shifting and changing rather rapidly for you, just remember to stay centered in who you are. That will keep your balance, and that will keep everything that seems chaotic around you in balance as well. And remember, the chaos is happening around you. I'm not seeing it happening within you. I'm seeing it happening in your environment. So don't take what's happening outside of you in your environment personally. Stay within your own core and your own balance, and just allow that to be around you. All right. And a card for Stephanie. This one's for Stephanie Williams. Thank you for being such an angel for Star Nations. So this year is the Six of Stars. Darn, you have the success card for this year. That's just terrible. So this is a year where you really start to shine on your own. There's a lot of success for you, and you are going to facilitate a lot of success around you. And I know that means for Star Nations. So thank you for that. But this will help you, like, I feel like your confidence expanding and your sense of purpose, and it just, I feel you growing as part of this success. Like, you wear it well, my dear. So look forward to that, because that's really what's shining for you in this new year. Yay. All right. And Chris. Oh, yes. Of course, one for Chris. So Chris, your card is the Nine of Hearts. This is the Perseverance card. So this card has a lot of emotions in it, my dear. You're going to be challenged on an emotional level over and over and over again throughout the year. And so perseverance is you sticking to it and you sticking through it. The more we learn to express all of our feelings, no matter what they are, there's no bad feelings. If you need to be angry, be angry. If you need to be sad, be sad. But don't try to hold back. And there will be a lot of that around you. And you're going to be sort of, I keep seeing like those wading boots, you know, like they used to do in the creek to go fishing, you know, that they go all the way up your thighs. They go all the way up to your hips or whatever. So they're like these giant boots that you're like sloshing around in all this emotional muck. But you're protected and you're able to get through it. But part of the reason you get through it is that you start to open that part of you too. You start to open that empathy for people who are going through that. And it's a number of people. It's not just like one or two. It's like kind of all around you. So geez. So the last card I always pull for Neshi. I'm like, yay! So she got the Soul card, and she got the Universe card. Woohoo! So the Universe card is really that this year is that everything that you want is right there. Everything is at your fingertips. And that, you know, the universe is providing on every level. And that you really are one with the Creator this year. So use this energy wisely because, boy, we all could use that. And with that, guys, I hope you enjoy your new year. If you want a more detailed reading, like I do a yearly reading where you get the energy for each month of the new year. And so sometimes that can let you have guidance on when to make important decisions and when not to, besides Mercury retrograde. And it can let you know like when the energy will be good for vacations and not good to ask your boss for a raise. So if that's something that you want, you can reach out to me at Trinity Healing Sanctuaries, and I'd be happy to help you with that. And I will see you guys next Tuesday at noon for chakra sessions in the brand new year as we start working on our chakra evolution. The Ancient One has been talking to me about our energy evolution and how that is starting to transpire. And so some of the teachings are going to be on that. So I'm excited for that. And then we also do the clearing. So that's Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. And then I will be back here next week to give us inspiration for the week and how to maneuver it in January. So I'll be here next week at 7. And thank you again to Neshi for being my co-pilot. And for all of you who stayed here till the very end, remember, if you get a chance to like and share the broadcast, maybe there's somebody out there who needs to hear some of the messages for the new year so they can understand what a transition year we're going to be going through as a planet. And with that, guys, have a great one, and I'll see you next time.